Hello everybody, it's Serafina and I'm here with your daily tarot insight. So before we begin, I would like to call upon the spirit of the universe that loves us unconditionally. I would like to call upon the spirits of this land, of this island, and of this ocean. And I thank them for holding the space and for their ancient wisdom. And I would like to call upon my guides, my ancestors, archangels, and my higher self, and I thank them for their presence and guidance with this collective reading. So the new moon in Taurus is tomorrow. This new moon is quite special for various reasons. First of all, it's a solar eclipse, and what that means is that the moon is going to pass by right between Earth and the sun. And this happens usually on new moons, right? Because it's when the sun and the moon are conjunct. And so this is a new beginning that's very exalted, let's say. And not only that, but it's kind of like happening over a period of 18 months. So whatever changes that this new moon in Taurus is bringing in your life, it's not going to be immediate. It's going to be over a series of time, like 18 months. And the best way to know how this is going to influence you exactly is by looking at your chart and seeing what house it is. However, what we do know about Taurus at a collective level is that Taurus is all about embodiment. It's all about the earthly realms, right? It's the second sign of the zodiac. It's related to the bull. So when I think about Taurus on a personal level, yeah, it has to do with sensuality, using all of our senses, about being present. It's about, it's ruled by Venus, right? And so Venus is all about that extravagant, lush aspect of it, but it's a very grounded part of it, right? On another sense, it could relate to values. And that's why it's highly related to money, right? Because we spend our money on what we value, or that's how we place value on things, right? So I anticipate that a lot of how we relate to money at a collective level is going to be changing, and we can already see big influxes or changes on the economy worldwide. And then what you can do is focus more on your own relationship with money and your own relationship with self-worth. So if you want to look more into what house these eclipses are going to be triggering for you, just let me know and we can check that out in your chart. Okay, so beloved spirit of the universe that loves us unconditionally, what is the guidance for the collective with this reading? What is the guidance for the collective for this new moon in Taurus? We have the Queen of Wands. What further guidance is there for the collective on this new moon in Taurus? We have the Six of Wands. What further guidance is there for the collective for this new moon in Taurus? Too many cards. What further guidance is there for the collective? Well, we have the Queen of Cups. What is this all about? What is this all about? What is this all about? We have the Six of Wands. Wow. Okay. So let's pick an oracle card to clarify. What further guidance is there for the collective today? We have reflect. Reflect. Okay. So it's interesting the cards that we have today, because we're starting off with the Queen of Wands As I've mentioned before, she's a queen of alchemy. She knows her worth. She magnetizes, and she's not very concerned about how other people perceive her. The negative side of a Queen of Wands could be she's temperamental. She is maybe a little too intense for her environment. She's not watching how she channels her energy towards others. And funnily enough, the third card we got is the Queen of Cups. So we have this dynamic duo of like fire and water. The Queen of Cups, she knows the importance of emotional mastery. She knows the importance of being able to vocalize emotions in a way that is beneficial for everybody. And she also has this very nurturing aspect to herself. So the other important, interesting aspect is that we have the Six of Wands and the Six of Pentacles, right? And six, if you think about it, it's all about balance. We have three on one side, three on the other. It's masculine, it's feminine, right? The Six of Discs usually speaks of us being able to give and receive in balance, which I feel is very much connected to the Queen of Cups, right? It's us being able to recognize how much are we extending ourselves unto others, and is that being reciprocated back? And then we have the Queen of Wands with the Six of Wands, which is one of victory, of being celebrated, of being seen. So what does this all tell me? And now that it's being tied in with reflect, I feel that this Taurus eclipse and the guidance that it's asking for us to do is to kind of sit in this middle path, to sit in a place where we acknowledge these two sides that we have to ourselves, these two different perspectives that we have towards something, how far we have come, right? Something that I forgot to mention in the astrological update right now is that Venus today is exalted. She's at her exaltation point according to ancient astrology. And what does that mean? It's a blissful state. She's in Pisces. She's at her best state right now. And not only that, but she is the ruler of Taurus, which means that she is already feeding positive energy into this eclipse that's happening, right? And so today we're having moments of bliss. Today we're having moments of understanding, of higher understanding of how far we have come. You know, we just had a long period of Venus going through retrograde seasons, conjuncting with Pluto, with Mercury, with the Sun. She's a new person. She has a new value system, right? As I mentioned before. So what I'm sensing right now is like a strong sense of empowerment. And I feel that that's something that's going to be coming through for us with this eclipse. Eclipses are not always easy. Like there is a shadow aspect to it. Another important astrological thing is that Pluto's going retrograde today. And the way that I interpret this Pluto going retrograde is in this particular time, these anaretic degrees in Capricorn, is how much of our power do we give away to other people? Are we oversharing? Are we maybe placing too much of our value in other people's hands instead of keeping things to ourselves and keeping things close at home, right? Because, you know, Pluto's all about power and power dynamics and how we are able to give and receive in balance. So I know that this reading is being a little bit floaty, but I feel that there's not like one specific guidance that there's being given for today, other than we have these two beautiful queens, the one of water, the one of fire, that are coming here to say, let's acknowledge both sides of ourselves. Let's sit in our mastery of creativity, our mastery of knowing exactly who we are and being able to celebrate that in a way that's genuine, in a way that's authentic. At the same time, our emotional depths, our creative depths, our intuitive depths, right? In Pisces, right? By giving and receiving in balance, by knowing when to nurture what specific things in our life. So I feel that these two parts of ourselves are going to be coming up, you know, during this specific new moon in Taurus. And I'm going to read from this book, or the card Reflect. Without a reflective practice, we end up repeating the same patterns over and over again, unable to reach our potential. This card asks you to sit in silence for a few moments and reflect upon what has been coming up for you recently. What emotions do you find yourself experiencing continuously? What situations do you find yourself in often? If you are finding unease in any area of your life, have you experienced it before, and when? When was the first time when you remember feeling this way? How did your family handle these sorts of situations when you were young? Consider journaling around those questions and allowing whatever needs to come out to come out. When we reflect, the intention is not to fix, but simply to view ourselves and our lives with less bias and more openness. They say that the totem animal for this is the swan, which is a very helpful companion when doing reflective work, as they encourage us to be gentle with ourselves, reminding that transformation is always possible. She asks you to examine how to treat yourself when doing internal work. Is it with a sense of shame or harshness, or do you approach it with a sense of wonder and gentleness? Call upon the spirit of the swan to hold loving space for you, to guide you into cultivating tenderness. So it's interesting because I'm also sensing with this card reflect that it's also kind of alluding to the lunar eclipse that's going to happen in Scorpio 2 weeks from this one, right? Because that's what officially Scorpio eclipse seasons are about. So the thing with solar eclipses, which is what we're having this weekend, is that it's all about new beginnings. It's all about new beginnings and new things coming in. It's the north node of the moon. And then the ones that we're going to have in Scorpio is the south node of the moon. And that's all about things that are ending, things that we're releasing, right? And so I feel that these two processes are going to be reflecting themselves very, very strongly. And it is going to be asking us to reflect on more things related to self-worth, to value, to money, to our relationship, to our body, all of these very Venusian things. And, you know, an interesting thing about this new moon too is that it's going to be conjunct Uranus. And Uranus brings sudden upheaval, brings surprises. Sometimes they can, you know, be really difficult, like the Tower card, but ultimately they're always for our best interest. So not only do we have a new moon in Taurus as a solar eclipse, which brings higher potency for new beginnings, which is going to be lasting for 18 months. But also it's, you know, it's going to be conjunct Uranus, which is going to bring an element of surprise. And all of this is being fed by Venus, who is in Pisces right now in her sign of exaltation, in her degree of exaltation. So we can expect a lot of blessings coming in. So I feel that we're going to be kind of like grappling with these beautiful, romantic, loving moments. We may feel absolutely in love and in bliss with the world around us, with our loved ones, new romance connections and our friendships, and still be having like this underlying shadow aspect that eclipses kind of bring up. Yeah. Okay, so to finish, I would like to pick a card with Kuan Yin. Just because I'm feeling a sweetness to this. I'm feeling a sweetness to, even though, you know, certain difficult things can come up, I'm feeling a sweetness to this lunation. So, beloved Mother Kuan Yin, what loving guidance is there for the collective today? What further guidance is there for the collective today? It says the veil of shadows. 43. A lotus blossoms with deep, rich mud into which she plunges her roots and draws great nourishment. From this mud made of water and earth, growth happens and great beauty is revealed. Your soul lotus thrives through depth of emotion and aliveness of your body, into which she can plant herself and unfold the lotus of light. Your soul lotus is blossoming, just like a plant that outgrows a pot in which it has been planted and requires more soil to spread its roots and continue growing. Your soul lotus needs more mud, some more water and earth energy so that you can grow and shine. That's very Taurus, right? In the spiritual worlds, all things serve. Everything, including our darker emotions and parts of our body that we may not think are acceptable. They are actually good nourishment for the soul. The soul craves to love and to be in love with all parts of you. Like a passionate divine lover, it wants to hold nothing back and become completely spiritually intimate with all aspects and all parts of you, whether you have thought they were lovable or not. This can be challenging because it can feel extremely uncomfortable to visit and consciously engage with those aspects of your personality and our bodies that we have yet to really love and accept. Yet this is what you are guided to embrace now. This process might be started by taking a class or engaging in a physical practice that honors that shadow part of you. If you have considered yourself an introverted person, then reach out to people in the community. So basically what it asks you to do is to look at where you can nourish your emotional and physical life with more focus. Art, creativity, journaling. So I find that that's quite spot on, because it's speaking about us being able to reflect and being able to integrate shadowy parts of ourselves, which is what eclipses usually bring in, right? They bring in those shadowy aspects that we hadn't really recognized. And how better way to do it than to embody the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands by celebrating ourselves, by acknowledging how far we've come in our trajectory, and by sharing our bounty, and by doing it in a way that is balanced for everybody around us. Okay, everybody, so if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to comment, share, or like it. If you would like a tarot reading with me, please visit my website or just message me and we can arrange something. So I wish you all a beautiful eclipse in Taurus, and I will see you back here. Bye.